There are a lot of men out there who think they have to shave their beards or not have a beard because their girlfriend or the wife doesn't like them. There are a lot of women that are brought up in the United States today that look at the beard as something that's scruffy or doesn't look nice. Thankfully, beards are making a comeback and it's becoming to be normal again. And even some politicians are wearing beards. Beards should have always been in vogue because beards are part of a man, as we know that here. Well, in the American culture, a beard has a really funny thing. It's associated with homeless people, a Duck Dynasty, but it's not really associated with what men are supposed to be and look like. I wanted to introduce Laura to the show today, and Laura, tell everybody what you've noticed in Western country today, or whether it's Australia or whether it's United States, about beards versus growing up a Muslim and the difference in the way that people look at it.
I think what I've noticed in the Western world is that many men don't wear it, or rather haven't grown it, and the ones that have, like you said, are considered homeless or bogan, as we in Australia would like to say. But I have noticed within Islam that men do tend to wear a beard.
Is there anything like a feminine or masculine, or is it? What's the reason why the Quran and Muslims wear beards or they don't shave?
I think in Islam it's pretty much similar to the Bible, so for that same reason.
Yeah, but many Christian men don't look at what the Bible says about wearing a beard, and they're clean shaven. So, I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what the Bible says and the Quran says about it, and it's part of our bodies and stuff, but why do you think it's such an important aspect of Islam, but Christianity or even any parts of the world today other than Islam, it's not taken as seriously? Well, it is, I guess, in the Hindu culture as well. It's serious. It's just the Western country that has an issue with it. Why do you think that, from your observation?
I'm not sure why Western people would have an issue with it, but I know, as you said, even some Christian men don't wear it, and it is the same in Islam too, where less practicing Muslims tend not to wear it or don't really want to either, so yeah.
Well, there's the religious purposes of, I guess, not shaving, but then there's, the other purposes, I guess, people follow the trends of Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in Hollywood, if people are wearing beards, people let their beards grow, and if they're not, they won't.
Yeah.
There was a time in this country, I don't know if you know this, in the late 1800s, where it's a very prestige thing to have a beard. Even the presidents have a beard in history. But today, if you're not clean shaven, you're looked at as lazy or something.
Yep, or homeless or
yeah.
any of that, yeah.
And it's not right. So as a woman, what do you think about beards versus men that are clean shaven?
Well, I actually really like men with beards. That's not to say that it suits everybody, but I always have liked men with beards. It makes a difference.
From what standpoint?
Just I guess in appearance too, not just with everything else, but yeah. I guess with the Western men, for the most part, they don't, or for the most part, grow up in religion, so they don't know the religious or spiritual importance of it. Whereas in Islam, the men who are somewhat practicing do, hence why they do wear it for Allah. And I guess it is somewhat similar reason to why believing men wear it as well, for Yahweh. So, yeah.
Now there are some people that aren't religious at all, and some of them have a beard, but still, it's considered quite dirty or scruffy. And a lot of women, especially in America, they don't like men that have beards. And I don't know if the issue was beards or the mystique around the beard, that there's a lot of tales around the beard, but at one time it was very prestigious to have a beard in this country, but no more. You grew up in Eastern Europe. What was the idea, not just within your own family and the Islamic faith, but just in people all around? Because I know in Hinduism in India, it's very common to have a beard, the Sikh religion, and a lot of religions around the world, or just a lot of cultures around the world, beard was normal, but in the United States it's considered as not normal. So what was your experience growing up from your observation?
Well, from my observation, even within my family, even though my family is, somewhat moderate Muslim, my father and grandfather kind of didn't really have beards. But that's not to say that others haven't. I think it's just the way, I guess, people perceive Islam or the Quran in general, and how practicing they are. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah. So as a woman that likes men with beards versus the average woman that doesn't, what would be your advice to men out there if their girlfriend or their wife says they want their husband to shave their beard? What's your ideas when that happens?
I guess my advice would be perhaps not even to listen to your wife when she says that. I know people have different tastes, but and I like I said, I like men with beards. Doesn't mean everyone else does, but I think if a certain male wants to wear a beard, I don't think necessarily that. I guess, yeah, as horrible as it sounds, that their wife should have the last say. I mean, I know like the wife is the one looking at the husband at the end of the day, but I guess she'll get used to it.
Yeah, if a husband doesn't like his wife's haircut, he doesn't tell her to shave her head.
Exactly.
Everyone would think he was crazy, but if the wife doesn't like the way the husband looks, she says, shave your beard. Not even like, shape it up so I can like it or neaten it out, but shave it.
Exactly. Take it all off.
Can you imagine a guy saying, shave your head? I don't like your hair, just shave your head.
Exactly.
And so it's just what about children growing up like young adults in the early teenage years when they start reaching puberty and getting a beard? Was it common amongst your culture growing up that they were taught never to shave, or were they taught to shave very young? How was that?
Well, with Eastern Europe and the parts where I grew up and observing the males that I have observed, I guess it's more so their personal preference as opposed to what the Quran or Islam say. So it depends with family, really.
On this channel, I interviewed a man once who never shaved in his whole life. Do you know anyone that's never shaved their whole life?
No, I can't say I have.
Really?
Well, I guess maybe a couple of people, but it hasn't really grown all that long. Like it might reach like the stomach area.
Yeah, I was talking about the length. The guy that
Yeah.
never shaved, his beard wasn't that long.
Yeah. A couple of people, yeah.
Okay. And how do you think they would feel if somebody forced them to shave?
Well, if I'm going to speak about the couple of people that I brought up, they're very, I guess, they wouldn't take lightly to anybody's advice. They would just keep on doing what they want to do.
Okay.
And keep growing it.
What about in the Middle East or Eastern Europe, the shape of the beards? Because in the old days, Egypt, they used to shape up the beard different ways. Jewish people traditionally don't do anything to it. They don't even trim it. But I know, like in Islam, they try to tell you to keep the beard trimmed and nice. It's actually a law or an order to keep the beard trimmed and nice. Not just to have a beard, but you can't let it get untamed. So what's the idea behind that? Is that just an appearance thing, or it's like there's more to it?
I guess it's more so they're going off of what Prophet Muhammad did, and so they want to do what he did, and follow that. So.
All right, this is just another example. Men, I know there are some women out there, or many women out there, especially in the United States, that don't think a beard is attractive or in any way like a beard. They're disgusted by it. But there are women around the world, actually most cultures around the world, opposite from the United States and in Western Europe, where a lot of women are just brought up with it as little children, and daughters, they see their dads have beards and they have no problem with a beard. So I don't want you to be discouraged when you hear the negativity behind it. And it is making a comeback these days. More people are growing beards. It's become part of Hollywood, so it's becoming a good thing. And speaking of that, thank you for being on the show and just sharing your feedback about your life and the beard.
Thank you as well for having me on the show.
Okay.
Don't say